Hello guys, Pluto here, and welcome to another episode of Java programming tutorials. And today we are learning about methods and classes. So make sure you have IntelliJ open and create a new project. And just do a standard Java project. That's all you really need for this. And we'll just name it Methods and Classes, because that's what we're learning about today. So then hit finish, and now make sure to create your package and your main method. So Pluto.mac for methods and classes, and then make your main method. Then just okay, now we are ready. So, if you haven't heard me speaking this entire series so far, you've heard me say main method. Now that is basically this, a public static void main string args. This is a method. Basically, what a method is it's like a block of code, basically. It basically allows you to store an amount of lines of code within like a little section. So like to create another method, you could say void main1, and this is also a method. It's not a very well made one in my opinion, but this is also a method. So basically it allows you to store amounts of code like hello. That's totally how you spell hello. Just do this. And this basically method allows you to store a certain amount of lines of code, and then you can actually run it from here, so you can call main 1. Oh, it's gonna have an issue with that because it's not static. So now we have basically what this is doing is this is when it runs, it's calling this method, and it runs all of the code inside of this method. So it's actually pretty helpful for programming. So don't actually type any of that whatsoever, please, because it's not good code. So in this episode, we will be using methods and classes to create a player class that will store an inventory and items. But that's when we learn about classes, so later in the episode. So in this one, we're just gonna do things like a backwards. So basically, so in this section, to learn about classes, in methods, to learn about methods, we're going to create a method that will basically take in a string of characters, and then it will flip it around backwards. That's how we're going to do this. So basically what you need to do is outside of your main method here, type public static void, not void, type string with capital S, and then two backwards, and then 2 parentheses, and this. Now this is like a simple method. You will notice a red underline here. Don't worry about this yet. So this is a simple method, but it doesn't take in the string we want it to. So basically what we want to have happen is we want to be able to specify a variable string back equals, we'll say string normal equals hello. And then we want to print it backwards, so we want to say 2 backwards, but it's not gonna immediately assume we want to do this, because we're gonna want to call it this a number of times with a number of different strings. So in order to do that, we're gonna want to, inside of these parentheses, add a string with capital S and then space text. Now, if you notice over here, we get a red line. That's because we're not giving it any string. So we would just type in normal. So basically, this method doesn't do anything yet, but what we want it to do is we want it to return the string it gets, but backwards. So that's a pretty simple task. It's all you have to do is you just have to basically type for, because we're going to make a for loop, then int space I space equals, and then text dot length with 2 parentheses after it, then a semicolon, space, and this is all inside of the parentheses after for, and you're going to want to say I is greater than 0, and then I minus minus. So this is not your average for loop. Usually it's int I equals 0, I is less than a certain variable, and then I plus plus, but this is it backwards. We're counting backwards. So basically, then what we want to do is we want to type char for character, and then C. It's going to be text dot char at I. So it's basically going to get the character at I. What does it say? It's out of bounds. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. Make sure to add a -1 after the length. You had to do something. So, also before the for loop, type string builder, one word, just like this, builder equals new string builder. Just add this line. Then what you're going to want to do inside the for loop after the char C equals text dot char at I, builder dot append, and then C. Now this will give you a warning. Don't worry about that just yet. And, well, you're going to be worrying about that right now. So then outside of this for loop, just type return builder.toString. Just like this. So hopefully what we should get when we create our main and then run it is it should be printing out, oh wait, it didn't get the H. Let's change this 0 to -1 and then rerun it. This is an example of bug fixing. Basically, if something doesn't work, yes, so now we get all a heh, which is hello backwards. So this is basically this is a method that takes in a string and flips it around. So we could change this to anything. We could say Pluto 7073. Wait, no. Better yet, we could say subscribe to Pluto 7073, and then we could run it. Then we could get it backwards. That looks really weird, like complete utter nonsense, but you know, this is what you should do. So anyway, now let's move on to classes. Here we are in our project, and now we're going to learn about classes. So basically, a class is a way to store something. So if we open up our main.java, this is actually a class. You can see the word class right here. This basically means this is a class. Except it is our main class because it holds our main method right here. We learned about methods in the previous part of this video. So, but you can actually have more than one class, and it's a great way to store things. So in this section of the video, we'll be creating a player class that will store an inventory and a name and some basic info about a player. So we're going to keep this because we might want this, but for now, we can ignore this. So over here on your lowermost package, for me it's MAC for methods and classes, you can right click it, hit new, and hit Java class, and then name this player. Now this gives you a new class. Now this is what we're going to be using to store information about the player. So just add a few lines of space in your player class, and then type public space player with a capital P, and then don't forget the parentheses. So this is similar to a method. This is called a constructor. So a constructor is a special type of method that initializes a class. So, and you'll notice that it actually does not take in a return type, which, like, this returns string, so it's returning a set of characters, but you can make it return int or boolean or whatever, but for this to work, it's going to return a string. So this actually does not have a return type. Technically it does, and its return type is it's returning the player itself. But it does not need to say public player. That would just be weird, because then it's going to tell you that this is the same name as its class name, and that could cause some issues. So we're just going to keep it like this, because this is a constructor. So inside of these parentheses, when we create our player, we're going to want to give it a name. So what we'll do is inside of these parentheses, we're going to type string and name. So then just above this constructor, just like add a few lines of space and then type private string and name. Oh wait, no, private final string name, and then add a semicolon. You will get a red line. Don't worry about that right now. So these two are not the same variable. So when you're creating your player and you specify a name, it's not going to immediately set this to that name. So what you're going to need to do that manually. So in order to do that, you're going to type this dot name, and that specifies this right here, and space equals space and then name. So basically it's setting this name to this name. So then we can like create like a method like public string get name or something, and then make it return name. Basically that would be getting the name of the player. So this is a very, very simple class, but the class is not used by anything, so you're not going to have any players. So in your main method, type player equal space with this capital S and this with a this capital P, and then with this a lowercase p, and then space equals space new player. Now you may notice this, there will be a red line here, don't worry about that yet. So you may notice this looks almost exactly the same, except instead of player, it's string builder and builder. The string builder is also a class. Basically, what this string builder is doing is on the append method of the builder class, it's basically taking whatever you specify and adding it to the string that it stores, and then builder.toString is basically getting the string that it has been creating and returns that. So basically that's what this class does. This method does. So this doesn't do that because this is not a string builder class. So in here you will see this red line. It's because we haven't specified this string that it says to specify there. So you'll need to add some double quotes and specify a name like Pluto. So now we have created a new player named Pluto, and then we can also say system.out.println player.getName. So basically what this would do is it would, of course, print out subscribe to Pluto 7073, but backwards, and it will print out Pluto because it's getting the name. But we also want this thing to store an inventory. So we're gonna do a little thing that's called an array. Now, we learned about those last episode. So create so now we need to learn about a global variable. A global variable is basically what this is. It's a variable that is accessible from the whole entire class. Now, this variable right here is not a global variable, because if you try and access the variable name, it's not going to access this name. It's going to access this name, because this name variable right here only exists inside of the constructor. Out here, it's non-existent. It's not there. It doesn't exist. just like the normal string or the normal string or the player variable. These only exist within the main method. They don't exist anywhere else. But this name variable exists within the entire class, which means you can access name from here, although you can't really because it's not in a method. You can access it from here. You can create a new method. You could say, you can access it from anywhere in this class. But it does say private, so it's only accessible in the class. You can't say player.name because it has private access. So only this class can access the player. That's why we have the getName method, and it returns the name, and that is public, so that you can't set the name to anything outside of the class, but you can still get the name. So it's just for security reasons. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a global variable that is an array, and we're going to make it private. So we're going to say private, and we're going to say string. Make sure to add your opening and closing brackets for your array, and then we're going to call this inventory. So this is our player's inventory. Actually, we're not going to add here. We're going to say new string 5. So this player will have access to 5 things. Also, we can say final. So we now have an inventory with 5 open spaces, but he is holding nothing. So we're going to make a new method. So we're going to say public void, because it's not going to return anything, and we're going to say public void add to inventory. And then it's going to take in a string item. So this is going to add something to the inventory. Oh, and it's also going to take in an int slot for the inventory slot. So now, basically in here, what we're going to do is we're going to say inventory slot equals item. And that it's very, very simple. So, and then we're also going to say public string array get inventory return inventory. So this is very simple. So now we can get the inventory, and then we can say player.add to inventory item name sword slot. We're going to say slot 2, and then we can say system.out.println player.get inventory, and then do that. So now if you run this, it basically will get, of course, backwards stuff, the name, and then the entire inventory of the player after we add a sword to slot 2. And you'll notice slot 2 is technically slot 3. That's because this is 0, this is 1 right here, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So we technically have 5 slots total as an amount, but it goes from 0 to 4. And it will say null all over here because we did not set it to anything. So this is basically, that is how to use simple, very, very, very simple methods and classes in Java. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time in Java programming tutorials.